There is a paper grocery bag in my vegetable drawer, folded down to 4 inches tall. It cost me nothing, not one of the $40 people spend on matching bins, and I have not thrown out forgotten liquefied spinach in over 20 years. That bag is one piece of a single rule running through my whole fridge. You will not buy anything today. Not a bin, not a liner, not a matching set from the container aisle. Everything you need is already in your kitchen, and the bin companies are hoping you never learn why. My name is Maya Sato. I am 58, and my refrigerator is about half the size of a typical American one. In 50 years of feeding my family, I have thrown away shockingly little food. 12 of them today, and one that isn't on any list like this at all. Here is the rule behind every one of them. Here is the whole rule in one line. If you cannot see it, you cannot save it. My grandmother called that motenai, waste as a small shame, and each of these 12 does the same job in a different shape. The first one, the paper bag. Take any grocery paper bag and fold the top down to make a low, open box about 4 inches tall. Set it in your vegetable drawer and use it like a bin. Paper breathes. Plastic does not, and that is why a bag of lettuce sweats itself soft inside a sealed drawer, but stays crisp inside paper for the better part of a week. Group everything by kind, one bag for greens, one for root vegetables, and the moment you open that drawer, you see all of it at once instead of digging through a pile. The second, the milk carton tray. Rinse an empty half-gallon carton and cut it in half the long way, about 4 inches up from the bottom. That shallow half becomes a tray that catches spills before they reach your shelf, and holds anything small, a juice box, a yogurt tub, a jar of jam, steady instead of sliding every time you open the door. Clip 2 clothespins to the front edge if you want it to close part way, so nothing tips forward when the door swings open. Third, the paper cup shelf. Small paper cups, the 3-ounce size, stand up along your door shelf, and each one holds a single yogurt cup, a butter packet, or a mini sauce container upright, so nothing rolls to the back and gets lost for a month. No more moving 3 other things aside just to find the one you actually want. Fourth, the clip line. Ordinary clothespins or binder clips, clipped along the top of a door shelf, hold your soft squeeze tubes, mayonnaise, mustard, tomato paste, hanging upright with the cap down, so you can see exactly how much is left in each one. No more squeezing an empty bottle over your plate, because you could not tell it was already gone. Fifth, the cardboard wall. Cut a strip from any cereal box to the exact height of your door shelf, about 10 inches, and stand it up between your tall bottles. It works as a firm spine, and your milk, your juice, your sauce bottles stop leaning and toppling every time the door swings, instead of the domino tip that sends the ketchup straight into your crisper drawer. Sixth, the Eat This First box. Take any container you already own, as long as it is clear, and set it on the shelf right at your eye level, usually the second shelf from the top. Write "Eat This First" on a strip of tape and stick it to the front. Every leftover, every cut piece of fruit, everything within about 3 days of its date goes in that box, and because it sits where your eyes land first, you use it instead of losing it. This is the whole rule in one box. What you see, you eat. What you don't, you throw away eventually. The companies selling matching stackable bins know this too. A full organizing set runs $40 to $60, and a good third of what ends up inside one is food already on its way to the trash. A bin does not stop the waste. It gives the waste somewhere tidy to sit before you throw it out. That's it. That's the whole business model. My box costs nothing and does the opposite job because it is built to be seen, not organized. But the last thing I show you today has nothing to do with bins, bags, or bottles. It is one habit from my own kitchen, and when I taught it to my daughter, she did not believe it would work until she tried it herself, in her own apartment with her own rice cooker. 7th, the soft drink box, right next to the Eat This First box. Keep a second one, labeled for your cans and bottles. Every beverage lives in that one spot. So instead of pushing past jars and leftovers on 3 different shelves, reaching for a cold drink takes one motion. 8th, the curtain rod shelf. Find 2 shelves with about 4 inches of open air between them, and rest a tension curtain rod across, corner to corner. That gap becomes a new flat shelf for anything bagged, sliced cheese, deli meat, tortillas, stacked instead of piled. Keep it toward the front, off the back wall, so the vent behind it still breathes. Move it, raise it, or take it out any time your shelves change, and it leaves no marks behind. 9th, the herb bottle. Cut the top third off a clean plastic bottle, add about an inch of water, and stand your basil stems inside it, like flowers in a vase. Drape a plastic bag loosely over the leaves, set the whole thing in your door, and that basil stays green for up to 10 days instead of turning black on the counter in 2. 10th, the breakfast box. Pack 1 box with everything your morning needs. The milk, the yogurt, the fruit. So instead of standing with the door open for a full minute hunting for 4 separate items, you reach for 1 box and the door is shut again in 10 seconds. 11th, the magazine rack. Any wire document holder or magazine rack flipped upside down and set into a back corner turns wasted vertical space into slots that stand jars and bottles up straight, 4 or 5 at a time, instead of laying them down where they roll and hide. And the 12th is the one that is really mine. In my grandmother's kitchen in Nagano, rice was never left to sit around deciding what it wanted to become. The moment a pot finished whatever we were not eating that meal, she portioned by hand, still warm, into servings about the size of a fist, wrapped tight in a single layer, and into the freezer within the hour, not left to cool on the counter first, because rice sitting out too long is exactly the kind of thing that goes bad quietly. Wrapped and frozen warm, it keeps its moisture instead of drying hard and gray, and it holds in the freezer for about a month. When I want it, it goes into the microwave covered with a small splash of water for about 90 seconds, closer to fresh than anything I ever saved by leaving it loose in a bowl on the counter, wrapped tight, labeled, standing where I can see it. The same rule as everything before it, and nothing about it cost me a thing. So let me say the whole thing once more, slowly, so you can write it down. A paper bag folded to 4 inches in your vegetable drawer. A milk carton cut 4 inches up as a shelf tray. 3-ounce paper cups, standing your small items upright on the door. Clothespins or binder clips holding your sauce tubes cap down. A 10-inch strip of cardboard standing your bottles apart. A clear box at eye level labeled Eat This First, cleared out every 3 days. A second box beside it for your drinks. A curtain rod across a 4-inch gap kept off the back wall as a new shelf. A cut bottle with an inch of water, keeping basil alive for 10 days. 1 box each morning for breakfast. a magazine rack flipped upside down in the corner, and rice, portioned warm, wrapped tight, into the freezer within the hour, good for about a month. 12 pieces, one rule. If you cannot see it, you cannot save it. Do this over one weekend, and by next month your fridge stops hiding food from you. Nothing is buried, nothing is forgotten, and the $25 to $35 a month you were quietly throwing in the trash stays in your grocery budget instead. It cost you nothing but an afternoon and a few clips you already own. Now tell me yours. Everyone's fridge has one trick nobody taught them. Write yours below and tell me where you are watching from. I read every one. The whole list is pinned at the top of the comments if you want to save it. Next time, the 2 spots in your refrigerator where food actually spoils fastest, and neither is where you have been blaming. Until next time, waste nothing and take care of your kitchen, and it will feed you well. 12 small changes, one rule underneath them. Make everything visible. Freeze what you can while it is still warm, and nothing dies in the back of your fridge again.